I now most humbly request our esteemed Chief Guest, Member of Parliament, Honorable Advocate Shri Manish Tewari ji, to disseminate a few dribbles of your extensive and outstanding brilliance amongst our students. Thank you so much, sir.
Honorable Mr. Shri Sharma ji, Shri Jitendra Bhatia ji, Dr. S.K. Sharma ji, Dr. Anirudh Joshi ji, Dr. Ajay Sharma ji, Professor Siddhant Sharma ji, my colleague Shri Pavan Diwan, our very old and senior colleague Shri Upendra Sharma ji, Shri Bharat Ratsan ji, Shri J.C. Vaidya ji, P.K. Bajaj ji, the staff, teachers and students of this great academic institution. A good morning to all of you ladies and gentlemen, especially the parents who've come here to participate and encourage the children who are going to be awarded today. First of all, may I commence by congratulating the management committee and of course the principal and the academic staff of this college for making ST College Chandigarh as one of the premier institutions of not only this region but across the country. I think you deserve not only our congratulations but more importantly our gratitude for having worked so hard, having worked so diligently, at times against insurmountable odds, to create this oasis of academic excellence, which continues not only to enrich the academic milieu of this region, but attracts students and ignited young minds from all across the country. I do hope that in the spirit of devotion, dedication and sacrifice, which you've not only inculcated but also persevered with and proliferated, that would continue to be your beacon in the decades ahead as this institution goes from strength to strength. 40 years ago, when I graduated from this college, the world was relatively a simple place to live in. The circumstances, of course, in Punjab were not very fortuitous at that point in time. But be that as it may, the world was divided into two power blocks, one led by the United States of America, the other led by the Soviet Union. India was non-aligned with a tilt towards the Soviet Union because of the historic background of the Soviet support, especially during the 1971 war, when we created a new nation on our eastern borders called Bangladesh, which unfortunately has been in the news for the past 1 year for all the wrong reasons. In those days, you could either become a doctor, or you could become an engineer, or you could become a lawyer, or a chartered accountant. The avenues and opportunities were really quite limited. Of course, you could enter academics and aspire to be a professor in some great academic institution. And that's the way it really was. In 1989, the Berlin Wall collapsed. In 1 year, the Soviet Union disappeared. And by 1991, under the force of circumstances, India was forced or compelled to reset its international relations and its economic trajectory. And that reset, which was presided over by late Prime Minister, who was then Finance Minister of India, Dr. Manmohan Singh, whereby we decided to embrace the market economy, integrate ourselves with the global economy, started opening up thousands of new vistas for young, ignited, intelligent people to be able to find their place in the world. And if I can now, almost 3 decades down the line, identify any seminal moment which made a qualitative difference to the lives of young people who were graduating and post-graduating from colleges and entering the stream of life, it was that moment in 1991 when we decided that we would embark on a new economic trajectory, very different from the one which we had followed, and correctly so, between 1947 and 1991. The reason why I'm flagging this history is because the world that you will inherit is a far more complex world than what we inherited. Today, for the first time, after the end of the Second World War in 1945, you have 3 concurrent conflicts playing themselves out in different geographies of the world. You have a conflict in Ukraine between Russia, a conflict in Europe between Russia and Ukraine, a conflict in the Middle East between Israel, Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthis, by extension Iran. And you've not had the not too peaceful rise of China, now going back 13 years, when Xi Jinping became the president of the People's Republic of China. In the past 1 month, the complexities of this world have only become more intense. And the contradictions can befuddle even the most keen student of international affairs. And that is why you, the generation which is going to inherit this country, have a very potentious, if I may say, difficult burden on your shoulders. On one hand, while we look for personal advancement, while we look to make careers for ourselves, find a place for ourselves in the world, find our legs, try and become financially independent. On the other hand, you do have a greater responsibility towards society, and to the nation that all of us call our home. And that responsibility, irrespective of whichever field that you might be in, is going to become more complex to shoulder. The reason why I say this is because while each of us pursues his own academic passions or the choices that we've made in terms of our academic trajectory, it is also very important to keep your eyes and ears open as to what is happening in the rest of the world. Because no longer do we live on an island. We live in a world which is perhaps more interconnected than it has ever been in the evolution of humankind or in the story of civilization which started a millennia ago. A lot of us at this point in time, as I speak, would be on their phones, WhatsApping, trying to catch up with social media, or generally telling their friends, when is this boring guy going to conclude his lecture so that we can get on with the business of prize distribution. But do remember that the internet, which we take to be our part of our lives, which we cannot live without, was the most audacious experiment in anarchy. The internet today represents the largest ungoverned space on planet Earth. It knows no boundaries, it respects no jurisdictions, it respects no territorial divisions, and never in the history of humankind has so much power concurrently resided on so many fingertips. A tweet or a post on X, Facebook, Instagram, and even Truth Social, put out in some faraway place in Greenland or in the Vanuatu Islands or somewhere in Africa, can go viral in a matter of seconds across the world and start influencing not only the choices that you make, but the discussions that you have on a particular day. So, what you really have is a tale of two civilizations. A brick and mortar civilization that evolved over the millennia, the auditorium that all of us are sitting in, the concrete structures that have been built in terms of cities across the world, which we call our homes, and a virtual civilization which is evolving. Because while you may live in a physical civilization, you spent the better part of your working life or waking moments actually in the virtual civilization. So therefore, the future of humankind actually lies at the intersection of these two civilizations. And so therefore, in a world which is going to be ruled by frontier technologies, artificial intelligence, genomics, robotics, the Internet of Things, and quantum computing, many of the traditional areas of knowledge are going to become very redundant very, very soon. one area which has fundamentally transformed because of the advance of technology is manufacturing. By 2030, 5 years from now, 67% of all manufacturing jobs in the world are going to be replaced by robots. And that is the reason why I say that you need to keep your eyes and ears open. You need to academically update yourselves. Today, if you don't read, you are going to be left behind. Today, knowledge is not a luxury. Today, knowledge is a compulsion. If you are not knowledgeable, you don't exist in this world. A delete button will eliminate you from the onward march of the human civilization. So therefore, while you excel in whatever you are doing, and I am extremely happy for the achievements that you have so far been able to mark up on your scorecards. But this is only the beginning. And when you make this beginning, do always remember that you will always have a choice in life. But the choices that you make, they come with their own implications. So be careful about the choices that you make, because while the choice is yours, the implications will not be on someone else. The implications will always also be on you. Often, when I look back on the journey of this country over the past 4 decades, the one thing that repeatedly comes to my mind is that we've not been able to properly harness the potential of 1 billion young people who call India their home. The median age of India is about 28.1 years. And so therefore, in the world that you will inherit, the world that you will call your workplace, there are not going to be any traditional jobs. There would be innovation. There would be a premium on creativity. There would be no other way except to be the very best, par excellence in what you do. So therefore, my dear young friends, I wish you all the best as you venture into this brave new complex world which grows complexer by a day. The only thing or the only unsolicited advice that I would have for you is keep reading, keep studying, be updated, and don't allow the march of human civilization to delete you. Thank you very much. Before I end, the one thing which I would like to do on my own violation is to make a humble contribution of 10 lakh rupees from our MP Lab funds towards this college. Thank you very much.